Welcome to Bloodbath and Beyond. Today we reviewed The Meg. The most feared predator in history is no longer history.
Directed by Jon Turteltaub, starring Jason Statham, Bingbing Li, Rainn Wilson, and Cliff Curtis. Based on the book Meg, a novel of deep terror by Steve Alten, Meg is about a deep sea research facility that uncovers a sea at the bottom of the sea, underneath a layer that nobody's ever gone through. Unfortunately, on their way up with them, they bring the Meg, a megalodon, a big-ass shark. So now it's up to the team to rein in the Meg. So what do we like?
I like the choice of cast that they picked for this. I think they did a pretty good job. A lot of people are gonna see this just for Jason Statham. Let's be real. He's gonna be the big draw for this. Unlike all us shark fanatics that are going for the Meg.
So, yeah, the cast is actually great. We have Bingbing Li does a great job. We have Rainn Wilson, Ruby Rose is in here.
Ooh, we like her.
And everybody kind of played their role well. I mean, a lot of the people are very stereotypical. We have the standard marine biologist, we've got the hunky guy that has to save everyone, and Paige Kennedy, who plays our comic relief. He's funny. His lines felt like they were written for Tracy Morgan, however, but he did a decent job.
Yeah, some of them were kind of a cliche cast, but they played it well. So a lot of the parts of this movie were done in a way that they meant it to look corny. They embraced the parts that were going to be cheesy and made it look like they meant them to be there. And they did that well.
Why don't you just put a tracker on it? Did you guys ever watch Shark Week?
Which is nice because there are a lot of serious moments, but it's also fun because there's a lot of action sequences. And with the comedy, they're self-aware. They know there's 1,000 other shark movies out there, so they just poke fun. The production value, by the way, is massive. This is actually the biggest shark movie budget ever, but it shows because all of the practical sets look excellent, but there's also a lot of great CG work, and I know a lot of people are gonna hate on the CG,
Yeah.
but the sharks and all of the sea creatures that you see throughout are awesome. And they also helped with the 3D aspects of the movie if you happen to be able to watch this in a theater.
I liked the little girl that shows up in this movie. She ends up as part of the crew, but not part of the crew. She's an 8-year-old that apparently hears everything, and she's funny.
She's kind of there to just have like cute moments because there is like some love interest stuff going on.
Naturally.
And she kind of segues all of that. And she and herself just kind of like breaks up the movie because she's able to just add a little bit of comedy through her cuteness in multiple scenes. And you actually like care for her, so you're worried for her at other times.
It really wouldn't be a shark movie without a love interest, would it?
It wasn't too hammy. No one's grabbing each other and kissing when they should be fighting a shark. But it was cute. Now, what didn't we like? Firstly, I would have to say that some of the comedy isn't as strong as I think they meant it to be. There are some moments where the entire theater laughed out loud because they hadn't heard some of these jokes before, but as a shark movie connoisseur, seeing Finn at the end of the movie credits, it's like, come on, this is played. And that kind of like feeling is what you're gonna feel through a lot of the other situations in this movie. So if you watch a lot of shark movies, expect to see some of the stuff that you've seen before.
It's true. Some of the jokes were kind of lame given the talent they had there. They had the big name actors, and you expected the delivery of some of the lame jokes to still be a little bit better.
There's also something else that I think that they probably re-edited, and that's like most of the jump scares. Well, there are a good amount of scares that will catch you off guard. There are also a lot that are almost jump scares. You can tell that they turned down some of the sound effects when they do certain things. For example, if there's a transition and it goes to a slamming door or something, they really like softened the sound so that it didn't shock the audience, even though that's what the initial editing intent was. And I know that's super nitpicky, but I noticed it about 10 times. There were moments that could have been utilized to scare the audience more, and they just like softened the sound effects, and I could noticeably hear it.
I can say for sure I jumped at least twice. So there's at least 2 good ones that they did not soften. But if they did soften other things, unless you're like Jay and know to look for that stuff,
You're probably
you're not
gonna
see
notice.
it.
Knowing that this movie was initially going to be helmed by Eli Roth excited a lot of people. It was branded as a hard R rating, and unfortunately, down the line, Eli Roth got bumped. He was replaced, and they dropped the movie down to a PG-13. So all of the gore and blood and stuff basically doesn't exist. There's a couple shots, but it's definitely worth noting because I know a lot of people wanted to go see this because it was supposed to be super gory, and even the director and Jason Statham have been very outspoken about this, saying that they did not sign on for this cut.
It was kind of PG.
Our theater was filled with kids. One kid actually did like walk out like with his head in his hand, like hiding, a little crying. He did come back.
With his dad.
But like there are a lot of kids in the theater and they seem to be having a good time. So maybe that's like the only way that they're gonna recoup $100 million on this movie. Now it's time for our final thoughts and ratings. I think The Meg did what it was supposed to do. It was a fun, upbeat, over-the-top shark movie. It felt bigger than life. Everything looked great. We had a star-studded cast, and it's the biggest shark in history. There are definitely some great shots, good jump scares, but I did feel that they held back when it came to some of the scares and the gore, of course. There's some aspects when it comes to the dialogue that, you know, we've all heard before, and so that kind of drops the movie down a little bit, but all in all, I would recommend this. So I'm gonna give this 3.5 shark vacuums out of 5.
Overall, I was happy with this movie. It was a decent shark movie, came to theaters. It's the Megalodon. Who doesn't love any good movie about the biggest shark ever? It was good. I enjoyed it. I am happy we went to see it. I'm happy I got to do the review for this one. So I'm gonna give this movie 4 little Pippins out of 5.
As always, thank you for watching. Like this video and comment below with your thoughts on the film if you've seen it. If you haven't and you do want to check it out, I recommend you check it out in theaters. And if this is your first time here, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything Bloodbath and beyond.